Have you ever wondered what kind of education it takes to become President of the United States? From self-taught pioneers like to Ivy League graduates, the educational paths of America's leaders vary widely. How did some overcome a lack of formal schooling to rise to the highest office in the land? George Washington may not have gone to college, but don't let that fool you. This guy was no slouch. With no formal higher education, Washington was educated at home and tutored in subjects like math, geography, and surveying. He was a self-taught surveyor by the age of 16 and used those skills to become a prominent landowner. Talk about mapping out your future. Literally. Washington's practical knowledge served him well as a military leader during the Revolutionary War. Knowing how to read the land gave him a strategic edge against the British. And as president, his hands-on approach helped lay the foundation for a brand new nation. Lesson learned. You don't need a diploma to lead a revolution, just some serious know-how and maybe a legendary set of teeth, even if they were wooden. John Adams, America's second president, was a proud Harvard grad, class of 1755. Back then, Harvard wasn't handing out overpriced hoodies, but it was still the place to be for aspiring intellectuals. Adams excelled in classical studies and law, setting the stage for a career as one of the sharpest legal minds of his time. His legal training helped him successfully defend British soldiers after the Boston Massacre. Talk about a lawyer who knew how to keep his cool. Adams's education wasn't just a line on his resume, it was critical to his role as a diplomat and founding father. His legal expertise helped draft key documents like the Declaration of Independence. In the presidency, his Harvard smarts guided him through complex foreign policy challenges. Clearly, Adams proved that brains and boldness make a winning combination. Thomas Jefferson graduated from the College of William and Mary in 1762, where he studied everything from law to philosophy, with a side of, well, everything else. Jefferson wasn't just a student, he was a walking encyclopedia. He had a passion for architecture, science, and languages. He reportedly taught himself Spanish just for fun. Talk about the original overachiever. His diverse education shaped his presidency. Jefferson's love of exploration and expansion influenced one of his most significant achievements, the Louisiana Purchase. Oh, and he designed his own home, Monticello. Because when you're Thomas Jefferson, you don't just hire an architect, you are the architect. Now that's multitasking. James Madison, a Princeton University grad from the class of 1771, wasn't just book smart. He was Constitution smart. Known as the father of the Constitution, Madison's time at Princeton was pivotal. He studied history, law, and political philosophy under the legendary John Witherspoon, soaking up ideas about governance like a sponge at a seminar. Witherspoon? Law? Was he in relation to Reese Witherspoon? That would explain a lot about Legally Blonde. Madison completed his 4-year degree in just 2 years. Clearly, he didn't believe in wasting time or tuition money. His deep understanding of political theory helped shape the United States Constitution and later guided his presidency. During the War of 1812, he relied on his principles of government to lead a young nation through a tough conflict. I guess when you major in political philosophy, you might just end up shaping an entire nation. James Monroe may not have stuck around long enough to graduate from the College of William and Mary, but he didn't let that hold him back. After a brief stint there, Monroe took his education in a hands-on direction, studying law under none other than Thomas Jefferson. Imagine having a founding father as your tutor. Talk about the ultimate networking opportunity. Monroe's legal training and close mentorship with Jefferson shaped his diplomatic skills and his vision for America. As president, he put those lessons to work in crafting the Monroe Doctrine, a bold declaration warning European powers to stay out of the Western Hemisphere. So, while Monroe didn't walk away with a degree, he walked away with something arguably better: the wisdom to lay down one of the most enduring policies in American history. John Quincy Adams was a walking brain trust. Graduating from Harvard College in 1787, Adams had the kind of education that would make any parent proud. But he didn't stop there. Fluent in multiple languages, including French and Latin, he was basically the human version of Google Translate. Adams started his diplomatic career as a teenager, serving as secretary to the United States envoy in Russia. What an overachiever. His impressive education and international experience set the stage for a career of diplomatic brilliance. As president, his deep understanding of global politics influenced his bold policy decisions, including infrastructure projects and support for scientific advancement. So while others were figuring out life after college, Adams was out there negotiating treaties. Who says being a nerd doesn't pay off? Andrew Jackson didn't have the luxury of a formal education. He was too busy surviving the frontier. Mostly self-taught, Jackson learned the ropes of law by apprenticing and reading legal texts on his own, eventually becoming a lawyer. Who needs a fancy degree when you can just outwork everyone else? His lack of formal schooling wasn't a disadvantage. It became a badge of honor, earning him the nickname Old Hickory for his rugged, tough-as-nails persona. This self-made background played perfectly into his populist appeal. As the first president who wasn't born into wealth or privilege, Jackson connected with everyday Americans like no one before him. His military experience and self-taught legal knowledge shaped his bold leadership style, whether fighting on the battlefield or vetoing legislation with a decisive hand. His slogan should have been, "No diploma, no problem." Martin Van Buren didn't attend college, but that didn't stop him from rising to the presidency. Instead, he studied law under a mentor and quickly became a sharp lawyer and politician. Learning on the job, eh? Van Buren wasn't just a self-made man. He was also the first United States president born after the American Revolution, making him the first president with a post-revolutionary mindset. His legal education and political savvy helped him navigate the tricky waters of the presidency, especially during the Panic of 1837, a major economic crisis. He didn't shy away from tough decisions, although some of his choices didn't win him much love, like his handling of the Depression. But hey, being the little magician of American politics meant he could pull some big moves when needed. No fancy degree, just a sharp mind and a lot of political charm. William Henry Harrison's education wasn't exactly a lengthy college career. He studied at Hampton-Sydney College and briefly attended the University of Pennsylvania. But rather than books, Harrison found his true calling in the military, where he quickly rose through the ranks, going straight from textbooks to battlefields. Before becoming president, he served in the military, most famously leading troops to victory in the Battle of Tippecanoe. Harrison's military background shaped his presidency, but his time in office was, well, short. He caught a cold during his inaugural speech and passed away just 31 days later, making his presidency the briefest in history. Still, his old Tippecanoe persona and military experience gave him a lasting legacy. Who needs a long presidency when you've got a legacy of really great battle stories? John Tyler graduated from the College of William and Mary in 1807, where he studied law and politics, setting the stage for his future career. While his education wasn't flashy, it gave him a solid foundation in governance. Tyler became an ardent proponent of states' rights, a stance that was heavily influenced by his academic background and the political climate of his time. Tyler's legal education, combined with his strong belief in limited federal power, shaped his approach to the presidency. After William Henry Harrison's death, Tyler stepped in, asserting the powers of the office during a period of political tension. Though his presidency was often marked by controversy, his states' rights views left a lasting imprint on the political landscape. Sometimes the best education is a strong opinion and a good law book. James K. Polk graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in 1818, where he studied law and government. Polk was known for his efficiency and his obsessive attention to detail. While others might have been daydreaming, Polk was probably making a to-do list for the next 10 years. Polk's education in law and government shaped his presidency, particularly his aggressive expansionist agenda. His desire to expand American territory was guided by his strong belief in manifest destiny, and he wasted no time in making it happen. Under his leadership, the country acquired vast territories, including California and the Southwest. Polk proved that with the right education, a little ambition, and a lot of planning, you can really expand your horizons and your country. Zachary Taylor didn't have the typical college experience. He attended various schools during his childhood but never went to college. His education was more hands-on, which made him a man of action rather than a man of books. Taylor's real classroom was the battlefield, where he earned a reputation as a tough and skilled military leader. Despite having no formal political education, Taylor's leadership in the Mexican-American War catapulted him to the presidency. His military background influenced his decision-making style, relying on decisive action and straightforward solutions. But alas, his presidency was short-lived. Taylor spent just 16 months in office before dying unexpectedly. Guess he didn't have time for a political syllabus? Still, his military experience left a lasting mark on American leadership. Millard Fillmore didn't have a formal education, but he didn't let that stop him from making a name for himself. He attended various schools as a child and was mostly self-educated, learning law under a local mentor. Who needs a fancy degree when you've got grit and determination? He was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives and eventually became president. His legal education proved invaluable during the Compromise of 1850, where his ability to navigate complex issues helped him play a key role in diffusing tensions over slavery. So, while Fillmore didn't attend a prestigious law school, he sure knew how to make a deal. Proof that sometimes real-world experience trumps textbooks. Franklin Pierce graduated from Bowdoin College in 1824. Known as an avid reader, Pierce also studied law during his time at college, preparing himself for a career in politics. Who knew all those late-night study sessions would eventually land him in the White House? Pierce's education in law helped shape his political career and views, particularly his stance on slavery. His time in the legal field and his political background made him a key player in the debate over the expansion of slavery into new territories. While his presidency is often remembered for the divisive Kansas-Nebraska Act, his education in law gave him the tools to navigate such contentious issues, though not always to the public's liking. Looks like a law degree doesn't always guarantee smooth sailing. James Buchanan graduated from Dickinson College in 1809, where he studied law and politics. Although he wasn't known for his public speeches or flashy charisma, Buchanan's legal education gave him a strong foundation in diplomacy, which would serve him in his future career. Buchanan is often remembered as the last president before the Civil War, a man caught in the storm of rising tensions. His legal and diplomatic training guided his approach to the growing divisions in the nation, but his attempts to placate both sides were ultimately seen as ineffective. Buchanan's presidency may have been marked by inaction, but his education in law and diplomacy was meant to keep the peace. Unfortunately, sometimes knowing the law isn't enough to prevent a national crisis. Looks like even the best educated leaders can struggle when history's knocking at the door. Abraham Lincoln had less than a year of formal schooling, although that didn't stop him from becoming one of the most eloquent presidents in U.S. history. His real education came from books. He was largely self-taught, reading everything from the Bible to law books by candlelight. Talk about the ultimate night student. Lincoln's remarkable self-education didn't just make him a great speaker, it also helped him navigate the nation through the Civil War. His deep understanding of human nature and law gave him the wisdom to preserve the Union and issue the Emancipation Proclamation. So, while he didn't graduate from Harvard, Lincoln's homegrown education made him one of the most insightful and effective leaders the country has ever seen. Proof that a little self-discipline and a lot of reading can take you a long way, especially when the nation's future is at stake. Andrew Johnson had no formal education. He learned to read and write on his own. A true self-made man, Johnson didn't have a polished resume or a college degree, but he rose through the ranks of politics through sheer grit. Despite his lack of formal schooling, Johnson became a staunch advocate for the Union during the Civil War, even serving as Abraham Lincoln's vice president. His upbringing in poverty shaped his leadership style, and he was determined to stick to his principles, even if they weren't always popular. While his lack of education didn't directly influence his presidency, Johnson's resolve and life experience played a major role in how he handled Reconstruction. Who says you need a classroom when you've got determination and a strong sense of duty? Ulysses S. Grant graduated from the prestigious U.S. Military Academy at West Point in 1843. While he wasn't a top student, he famously didn't love math. His education in military strategy would later make him a pivotal figure in the Civil War. Talk about a case of it's not how you start, but how you finish. Grant's military background shaped his presidency, especially in his approach to Reconstruction after the war. His decisive leadership in battle translated into a strong stance on rebuilding the nation, though his presidency faced many challenges. Despite a less than glamorous academic record, Grant's West Point education proved invaluable in shaping his leadership style. After all, running a country is a bit like running an army. Strategy, discipline, and a good sense of direction are key. Rutherford B. Hayes was not only a politician, he was a scholar as well. He graduated from Kenyon College in 1842 and then went on to Harvard Law School, where he polished his legal skills. Not your typical man of action, Hayes was a bookworm with a strong legal and academic background. In fact, he could probably have argued his way out of anything. His education played a major role in shaping his presidency, particularly his policies on civil rights and Reconstruction. As president, Hayes was committed to protecting the rights of newly freed African Americans, even if it made him unpopular in some circles. Hayes proved that a solid education can lead to solid leadership. After all, it's hard to ignore someone who's got both the brains and the integrity to back up their policies. James A. Garfield was a bona fide scholar. He graduated from Williams College in 1856, and his thirst for knowledge didn't stop there. Garfield went on to teach at several colleges, proving that he could deliver more than just political speeches. He could probably lecture on history, math, and philosophy too. Garfield's education and academic background made him one of the most intellectual presidents, known for his thoughtful and reasoned approach to issues. He was often praised for his ability to look at both sides of an argument before making decisions. Sadly, Garfield's presidency was cut short by assassination, but his intellectual legacy remains. Looks like he was more than just a pretty face on a $20 bill. He had the brains to back it up. Chester A. Arthur graduated from Union College in 1848, where he studied law and sharpened his skills for a future in politics. But let's be real, Arthur wasn't any ordinary bookworm. He had a sharp mind and a talent for argument, which made him a skilled lawyer and a force to be reckoned with. Arthur is often remembered for his unexpected role in civil service reform. He may have started his political career as a product of the political patronage system, but he surprised everyone by becoming a strong advocate for reforming it. His legal education and background in law shaped his approach to government and his support for merit-based hiring. Arthur proved that even if you're known for your fancy suits, you can still make meaningful changes. Who says you can't clean up the system in style? Grover Cleveland's formal education didn't last long. He attended Lafayette College for a short time but didn't graduate. However, Cleveland didn't let a lack of a diploma slow him down. He was a self-educated man, using his political career to learn as he went. In fact, his education came from real-world experience, not textbooks. Cleveland's pragmatic approach to leadership was shaped by his belief in hard work and public service. He became known for his honesty and commitment to doing what was right, even if it wasn't the most popular choice. His lack of formal education didn't hold him back. Instead, it gave him a down-to-earth, practical outlook that proved to be effective. Cleveland showed us that sometimes the best education is the kind you get while rolling up your sleeves and diving in. Theodore Roosevelt graduated from Harvard College in 1880, but don't think he spent all his time in the library. He was a voracious reader with a passion for history and nature. Roosevelt didn't only read about adventure, he lived it. From exploring the Badlands to charging up San Juan Hill, his education at Harvard fueled his progressive ideas and leadership style. Roosevelt's deep understanding of history and his love for the natural world helped shape his progressive reforms and environmental initiatives. He was determined to make the country stronger and more fair for all, while also preserving America's natural beauty. Roosevelt's education proved that a love of reading and a bit of adventure can lead to some truly impactful leadership. Guess you could say he truly read the room and then took action. Woodrow Wilson was no stranger to academia, as he graduated from Princeton University in 1879 and earned a PhD in political science from Johns Hopkins University. Talk about taking the student president stereotype to a whole new level. Wilson's academic background deeply influenced his views on government and international diplomacy. He was a scholar at heart, believing that government should be led by reason and scientific principles. His education shaped his progressive domestic policies and his vision for the League of Nations, aiming for peace and cooperation after World War I. Wilson's intellectual approach to leadership meant he tackled issues with careful thought, though sometimes it also meant he could be a bit of a perfectionist. Still, his education played a major role in shaping the future of both domestic and foreign policies. Warren G. Harding attended Ohio Central College but didn't actually graduate. Looks like he didn't need a diploma to make a big impression. Harding was known for his oratorical skills and charming speeches, even if his academic resume wasn't as polished. Maybe he was just good at talking his way into things. His limited formal education didn't stop him from becoming president, but it did influence his leadership style. Harding focused more on populist appeal than intellectual depth, which led to some questionable cabinet appointments. It's like he chose his friends based on charisma, not qualifications. Sometimes a good speech doesn't make up for a lack of substance. Just ask his cabinet. Calvin Coolidge graduated from Amherst College in 1895, where he developed a strong foundation in history, government, and law. Known for his quiet demeanor, Coolidge earned the nickname Silent Cal, mostly because he believed in doing more than talking. You can imagine his speeches, brief, to the point, and without any fluff. His education, combined with a strong work ethic, shaped his pragmatic approach to governance. Coolidge was a believer in minimal government intervention, which worked well during the Roaring '20s when the economy boomed. His calm and measured approach helped restore confidence in the presidency after the scandals of the Harding administration. In Coolidge's case, the less he said, the more effective he was. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words, especially when it's accompanied by strong leadership and solid policies. Herbert Hoover graduated from Stanford University in 1895 with a degree in engineering, proving you don't need a law degree to get to the White House, just a knack for problem solving and a solid education. Hoover's background as a mining engineer meant he approached problems with a technical mindset, as if every issue could be fixed with the right formula or blueprint. His engineering expertise influenced his responses to the Great Depression, but his strategies were widely criticized for not doing enough to alleviate the crisis. Instead of building bridges to help the American people, many thought Hoover was just building more barriers. While Hoover's education gave him a unique approach to governance, it also showed that sometimes even the smartest engineers can't fix everything with a wrench and a hard hat, especially not a nationwide economic collapse. Franklin D. Roosevelt graduated from Harvard College in 1903, but he didn't only read books, he traveled extensively, gaining an international perspective. In fact, FDR was basically the world traveler of the White House before Instagram made it cool. His strong academic background and interest in public service shaped his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt's time at Harvard sharpened his skills in economics and politics, which helped him roll out the New Deal programs that aimed to lift the country out of economic despair. His education wasn't just about learning facts, it was about learning how to lead through crisis. His intellectual curiosity and experience made him a master of turning challenges into opportunities. Talk about turning a bad situation into a Rooseveltian victory. Harry S. Truman didn't attend a traditional four-year college. He took business courses but never graduated. In fact, Truman is one of the few U.S. presidents without a college degree. But don't let that fool you. He was a quick learner and a determined self-educator. Truman's lack of formal education didn't stop him from becoming a decisive leader. He was known for his common sense, practical approach, and the buck stops here mentality. His education, while unconventional, shaped his leadership style during pivotal moments like the end of World War II and the beginning of the Cold War. Truman proved that it's not always the diploma that counts, but the grit and determination to learn and lead when the world is watching. Guess you could say his real degree was in getting things done. Dwight D. Eisenhower graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in 1915, proving that leadership is about action, discipline, and knowing how to navigate a battlefield. His education was definitely military grade. Eisenhower's military education and leadership during World War II made him a natural fit for the presidency, especially during the tense days of the Cold War. He wasn't just leading troops, he was strategizing on a global scale. His West Point training shaped his foreign policy, especially his role in NATO and his efforts to contain communism. Eisenhower's military background taught him how to negotiate peace. When it came to handling international crises, Ike's motto seemed to be, "Keep calm and lead on." John F. Kennedy graduated from Harvard University in 1940, and while he may have been known for his charm and charisma, he was also an avid reader and excelled academically, despite dealing with health issues throughout his youth. Guess you could say he was the textbook definition of brain and brawn, if the textbook had a few chapters on overcoming obstacles. Kennedy's education at Harvard exposed him to global politics, which shaped his approach to foreign policy. His time at Harvard influenced his decision-making during major crises like the Cuban Missile Crisis and his bold push for the space race. Kennedy's intellectual curiosity and sharp political mind helped him navigate Cold War tensions and make decisions that had a lasting impact on the U.S. His education wasn't just academic, it was a masterclass in leadership under pressure. Lyndon B. Johnson graduated from Southwest Texas State Teachers College in 1930, making him the first U.S. president with a degree in teaching. You could say he was the kind of guy who believed in education and also in giving people an education in how to get things done in Washington. Johnson's background in teaching and his rural upbringing had a big influence on his presidency. His Great Society programs, which focused on civil rights and poverty alleviation, were shaped by his deep understanding of education's power to change lives. With his education and down-to-earth perspective, LBJ became a champion of social change. It was like he had the heart of a teacher, the drive of a politician, and the commitment to improving the lives of everyday Americans. Talk about lessons in leadership. Richard Nixon graduated from Whittier College in 1934 and earned a law degree from Duke University in 1937. A double dose of higher education. While he wasn't exactly known for being the life of the party, his legal background gave him a sharp mind for diplomacy and policy. Nixon's time as a U.S. representative in the 1940s and his legal training were instrumental in shaping his presidency. His approach to the Cold War, including his groundbreaking visit to China, was driven by his strategic thinking and legal expertise. But as we all know, not every legal maneuver turned out in his favor. Nixon's education helped him navigate the complexities of the presidency, but it also played a role in his eventual resignation over the Watergate scandal. Proof that not all lessons in leadership end on a high note. Gerald Ford graduated from the University of Michigan in 1935 and went on to earn a law degree from Yale University in 1941. So, it's safe to say his education was as solid as his reputation as a football star at Michigan. Ford was the only U.S. president who had never been elected to either the presidency or vice presidency. His rise to power came after Richard Nixon's resignation. But don't let that confuse you. Ford was no stranger to political maneuvering. His law background and experience in Congress helped him navigate the chaos of the Watergate scandal and stabilize the nation. Despite taking office under tricky circumstances, Ford's steady leadership proved that legal training and political savvy could get you through even the most unexpected of situations. Jimmy Carter graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy in 1946, and while most people were still figuring out their post-graduation plans, Carter was already off to sea. But wait, it gets better. He didn't just stop there. Carter had a strong academic background, earning a degree in engineering and later a master's in nuclear physics while serving in the Navy. So, not only could he navigate ships, but he could also navigate nuclear reactors. Carter's scientific education had a big impact on his presidency. His deep understanding of energy policy shaped his focus on alternative energy, and his diplomatic background was key in the Camp David Accords, where he helped broker peace between Egypt and Israel. A peanut farmer turned nuclear physicist turned peace broker, Carter proved brains, not just brawn, could make a difference on the global stage. Ronald Reagan graduated from Eureka College in 1932 with a degree in economics and sociology. You could say he was already preparing to act like a leader long before his Hollywood days. With a solid foundation in both the economy and human behavior, Reagan had a unique ability to connect with the American public, probably because he understood both the dollar and the dynamics of a good story. Reagan's education in economics played a significant role in shaping his presidency. His approach to fiscal policy was influenced by his studies, leading to tax cuts, deregulation, and a focus on reducing government intervention in the market. Combine that with his acting skills, and you've got a president who could both deliver a speech and influence a nation's financial future. Talk about a well-scripted presidency. George H.W. Bush graduated from Yale University in 1948, where he majored in economics and political science. He learned the art of diplomacy before ever stepping into the White House. Maybe it's no surprise, considering Yale has a habit of producing future presidents. Bush's political career was shaped by both his time at Yale and his experiences as a Navy pilot in World War II. His time in the military taught him the value of duty and leadership, while Yale helped shape his intellectual approach to politics. Bush's education and diplomatic career played a significant role in his presidency, especially during the Gulf War. His mix of scholarly knowledge and real-world experience made him a steady hand in international relations, guiding the U.S. through a critical conflict with a diplomatic touch. Bill Clinton graduated from Yale University in 1973 with a law degree, but his educational journey started even earlier. As a Rhodes Scholar, he spent time at Oxford University, where he was noted for his academic achievements and ability to charm the British. Clinton's academic background was stellar. He was an accomplished student and highly engaged in global affairs. Some say he was as good at studying as he was at giving speeches. Clinton's extensive education and exposure to global issues had a huge impact on his presidency. His strong academic foundation influenced his economic policies, and his focus on education and technology helped shape initiatives like the 90s tech boom. If only they'd had Wi-Fi at Oxford, right? George W. Bush graduated from Yale University in 1968 and later earned an MBA from Harvard Business School in 1975. While some might think the only thing you learn at Yale is how to network, Bush took his education seriously, especially when it came to business. Bush's time at Harvard and his background in the oil industry shaped his economic and foreign policies. It's no surprise that he was comfortable making bold decisions, especially when it came to tax cuts and handling crises like the 9/11 attacks. His business education gave him a solid grasp of economic principles. But let's be real. If a business school had a class on how to handle a national tragedy, he probably aced that too. Barack Obama's education was anything but ordinary. He graduated from Columbia University in 1983 and went on to earn a law degree from Harvard Law School in 1991. He made history as the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. His academic background, especially in law, shaped his presidency in profound ways. Obama's leadership at Harvard helped develop his skills in negotiation and consensus building, which he applied to major policies like healthcare reform and civil rights. While some presidents were known for their bold speeches, Obama used his law degree to craft the fine print of change, proving that sometimes the devil is in the details. Donald Trump graduated from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania in 1968 with a degree in economics. Now, if there's one thing you can say about Trump, it's that he learned how to turn his degree into a billion-dollar idea. His education at the prestigious Wharton School gave him the skills to dive deep into economics, shaping his presidency in the areas of international trade and tax policies. Trump's business background influenced his focus on deregulation, aiming to give companies more freedom to grow. Whether you agree with his policies or not, there's no denying that his economic education was at the heart of his decisions.